I have painted this side table before, but it is crying for a new look. Searching for the ideas for this side table, I came across the Mackenzie Childs style. With this idea in mind, I have started painting the table, but I believe you wouldn't be here if I just copied the pattern anyone can find on internet. Keep watching to see how I modified it. I have painted the base color in graphite quite roughly, as I want some texture. There will be 2 covers of the graphite, and as always, I will let it dry before I start on the fun part. I like to decoupage napkins, as they are extremely affordable and fun to work with. I have chosen this floral pattern, and first step I am doing is trimming the corners, leaving just the flowers. Then I am cutting out some more flowers to add to my design. I have trimmed the napkin really close to the pattern I want to use. Then I marked where my flowers will be, and for now put them aside. Now it is time to make the checks. I want to start in the middle, so I have marked the center. Also, I am not going to cover with the checks the part where the flowers will be, as I do not want the checks to be seen through the flowers. The process is quite easy. You can choose the masking tape, the width of the checks you want, and it will save you time measuring. The cross lines, I am also starting from the middle and just checking that they are square. My next step is the old ochre chalk paint. I am adding some plaster of Paris to it to make the consistency rougher. Later, you will see why I want this kind of consistency. I forgot to record the first coat, and here it is already a second coat, right over the first one. I am using a sponge as it absorbs the paint and doesn't let it run under the tape, making the checks neat. I am using Annie Sloan's chalk paint in this project. Now, while my checks are getting dry before I finish them, I am painting the space where the decoupage will be with the old ochre chalk paint. Important that there is no medium in this paint, as the rough surface can tear the napkin, but I want the design to be intact. I am also painting the trim of the table quite unevenly. I am using the sponge again. It makes painting so easy, spreading the paint only to the high points, leaving the grooves dark. I have also wrote a blog about checkered unique style and its history. You can click on the link in the description below to read the blog on my website. And here, adding some pattern to the side of the top. Have you ever tried painting in this style? Let me know in the comments below, or add the picture to your Instagram page and tag my colorful France, that I can see it. When the first checks are dry, I am covering them with a tape to make the second set of them, creating a pattern. Here again, when the paint is dry, I am tidying up my design. I want to make the dots, and I do not have any tool for it. So I have taken a screw with a large head and trying to make my own round sponge. It works. Now I can work on the dots. I got so brave that I added a second coat on the dots. And when it is all dry, I am sanding the top, that the black would peep through the old ochre. That is where adding plaster of Paris to the paint helps. As with the sanding, the uneven parts are peeling off. I have decided to add some more color to my table, and I have mixed the Emile chalk paint with the Capri pink to make the color a bit brighter, as I want to match it with the flowers of my design. Again, I have added some plaster of Paris to it, as I am going to sand it down later. And I am making the stripes on the legs of the table. Back to the top. Now it is dry and ready for the next step, applying the decoupage. I have sanded the top well, that the black would be visible through the old ochre. The napkins can have up to 4 layers. Mine has 3 layers, and I am peeling 2 of them off, leaving just the one with the pattern. I am going to glue the napkins with a Mod Podge. First, I am spreading it to the surface and gently applying the napkin. The napkin is very thin, so the best way to not tear it is to cover it with a transparent film and then smooth it down. After that, I am checking whether all the corners and edges of the napkin are properly glued, and adding a few more bits of the napkin to finish the design. When I am happy with the design, I am covering it with one more coat of Mod Podge. And here it is dry. Mod Podge made the black squares darker, but I do not worry about it, as I am going to cover the surface with wax, which also makes the paint darker. Now, with the artist brush, I am trying to make claws to the black checks. Do not worry if you didn't do it right. Just wipe the square with the baby wipes, but let it dry before working on it again. While waiting for the top to dry, I am back working on the legs of the table, sanding the purple off to get the black shining through. Then dusting off and tidying up. And to seal the paint, applying the clear wax. After I have applied a good coat of clear wax, I will be adding a bright gold gilding paint. I like to apply it with a sponge. The sponge doesn't make the coverage solid. The black is still visible. Also, with the sponge, it is easy to keep the edges tidy. Also, covering the top with a clear wax and adding some gold to the trim. As you can see, I also sanded the trim. It gives a better effect when all the colors are visible through gold. And here, the little side table got a new look. What do you think of it? Thank you so much for stopping by. Your comments support me immensely. See you again with my new fun project.